piece of paper and was not a ceremony in a white dress when they were writing this. It was a covenant was made when you had sex with the person. So you did not have sex with anybody you were not planning to spend the rest of your life with. And so what happens when we talk about this in this passage, what we're doing is we're saying, well, it ain't legal with the courts and I haven't had a marriage ceremony. God says, oh, that's for you. Like the dress, I don't get no glory from that. The bridesmaids, the groomsmen, the music, the people walking down and saying all of it, that's you. That's what you want. That's a Americanized view of what marriage is. He said, you know what marriage is with me? When a person decides what is so valuable in me that I'm ready to give it to somebody else. And I'm ready to give it to this one person for the rest of my life. And I'm going to give them all of me. And so when we step into that covenant, God is there saying, I do. When the intersection of joining comes together. So my question is, how many times have you made God say, I do, and you didn't? How many people have you been in sexual relationship with that wasn't you making a covenant with them, but it was you satisfying a fleshly need that God could meet if you allowed him to, but you decided not to allow him to, so you went and did it for yourself, saying that you're your own provider, and it ended up robbing you. I've never met anybody that's sexually active and charged and all this other stuff who comes out feeling freer after the situation.
See, on this video, I totally agree. Some people get it misconstrued when they say, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper. No, marriage is not just a piece of paper. It's what legalizes your marriage. But marriage starts in the spiritual realm. It starts in the mind, in the soul, in the heart. And see, I've actually lost soulmates. People look for soulmates, but you actually have a lot of them in this lifetime. I lost like 2 of them already. And that was somebody that I was connected to mentally. Somebody I was connected to in the heart, in the spirit. One of them I've never had sex with, but we were connected spiritually. This is somebody I know God brought in my life as a catalyst to my growth because I needed that. And I'm so glad for the time that I spent, but it helped me, even though they're gone, it helped me learn the importance of the spiritual realm, the importance of the connection of the mind, the importance of the connection of the heart, of the soul, the deeper understanding of marriage, because the first one, the other one that we met as kids, and when we were young, 5, he was telling his dad and my mom he was going to marry me. So I had marriage in my mind at a young age, but it took for me to lose him, because this is what he was saying out of his mouth, so I had it in my mind. And it took for me losing the other one because I had that in my heart. Me and him never talked about marriage, but I had him in my heart. Before he died, he showed up to me, letting me know it was his time to go. And I BS you not, next time I heard about him, he was gone. And I was so blown because he came to me in my dream. You have to be spiritually connected to somebody in the heart. And the only thing that connects you in the heart is the Spirit of God, love. And it really helped me understand the importance that, and I'm so glad I'm making this video, me losing one of them. He, at a young age, 5 years old, this boy already knew he was going to marry me. And when we was in high school, he came to remind me of what he was finna do and died in a police mistaken identity. Broke my little heart. But it's okay, because I learned that what marriage was in the mind. I learned from the second one what marriage was in the heart. And everybody else that I dealt with, because I had actually got married after that, and I knew and after I got the divorce, I understood what marriage was in the soul, because it took so much for me to go through everything that I went through to understand how to recalculate myself and be one person. I was so used to being one with the person, with my child's daddy, that it took for me to come out of that. So the soulmates and the people that I encountered that are no longer here, or I'm no longer with, it taught me things that I needed to know to prepare for the God-ordained marriage that God is going to bring me into, which he promised me before I even divorced my ex-husband. And like I said, one taught me the marriage in the mind, one taught me the marriage in the heart, and one taught me what the importance of marriage in the soul was. So I now understand the legal stance of marriage is the piece of paper. And it's important, but it's not as important as the marriage that comes within the mind, the heart, the body, and the soul. Well, I wouldn't even say the body, because sealing that marriage would be sex. I've had somebody that I connected with before I even touched him. And I knew who he was when I showed up because I felt him. I knew him by the mind. I knew him by the heart. I knew him by my soul. And it was so deep for me to be able to do that because I've already been crushed in those areas. I've already been hurt in those areas by losing, detaching, losing, detaching, and losing and detaching again. So it made me open to know who he was before I even knew him. Before I even seen him. I seen him. But I knew who he was before I even knew he was who he was. If that makes sense. But God would do it. It is really, really important. And I'm glad he hit on this. Because my daddy said something to me, my stepdaddy. Because my real daddy is dead. But I was raised by a man who was in my life more than my real daddy was. We not going to say that my daddy role in my life wasn't important. But he played a very important role in my life. He told me one time, he was just like, because me and my stepdaddy, we get deep in the conversation, the understanding of God, and I like that, because he'll tell me, you say some profound stuff so much to the point where I have to sit and have to think about the stuff that you say. It's not that I don't hear you, I have to think about what it is that you have said to me. And I'm the child. So with him saying that, it makes me more confident in the things that I know and the things that God tell me and the things that I've been through and why I've been through them. I've never ever just been able to spit that like that. This is my first time really understanding that like that. I mean, I've been going through years of healing, but it's so amazing for me to just see God like that and moving how he moving like that. Oh, that's glory! Glory, that's a glory moment. Okay, so my stepdad had said to me, he was just like, have you noticed that when God created Adam and Eve, was there a ceremony? Was there a piece of paper? Was there any of the stuff that we look at as marriage today? And I had to answer no. That made a whole lot of sense. It made a whole lot of sense. And I understand that much because I know I'm not the only person in this world that God created with the heart, the mind, and the soul like that. So if I know I'm not the only person in the world with a heart, a mind, and a soul like I got, then I can further understand the fact that he will bring to me what it is. Because when I'm with somebody, I'm with somebody. I'm committed to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm so in tune with my soul, it agitates me to be sexually active with people, more than one person, or somebody I'm not trying to be with. You get what I'm saying? I did that a couple of times, but it was for my healing stage, and I know that I was going on a journey, and I had to fall a couple of times and bump my head. But afterwards, it crushed me in a way that afterwards I had to heal. And it was good that I went through that because I more understand of myself, of why I don't like having, I don't believe in casual sex. You have to pull yourself back from that. You have to, all the people that I've encountered were worthy people. Whether it was reason or season, you had to have some kind of work for some kind of purpose for me to do whatever it is that we did. But my heart and my mind is set on only opening myself up to somebody who's going to be around for longevity. Like I said, I had to go through some things and backtrack some stuff and clean up some of my mistakes I had made after I got a divorce. But having sex to be intentional. Because when you do that, you soul tie yourself to somebody. And you got to understand who it is you're soul tying yourself to. Like I said, there is nobody that I've had sex with that was not for a purpose. reason or season. This was somebody that was very detrimental to my soul, very detrimental to my growth. More so like when God walking through the valley of the shadow of death. But see, that is exactly why God wants us to wait. He wants us to wait before marriage. Sometimes he wants us to wait before having sex. Sometimes he wants us, because what we'll do, and our human instinct, is to go have sex first and then try to work some out. You got to allow your mind, your heart, and your soul to align, to become one. Get on the one accord about your beliefs, about where you want to go, what you want to do, and how, even if they are different, how can you make it work? Whatever it is, it's all about being on one accord with it. And then, and only then, will sealing it with sex actually work. Because and I want to say that. I want to say this because it's a Bible, it's a book in the Bible where Isaac the promised son, his mama died, and he sent one of his servants to go find his wife. He told the servant what the wife was going to be doing. Rebecca, her name is Rebecca. He told the servant what the wife was going to be doing, and then that's how you know it was going to be his wife. He went, and she was doing exactly what it was that he said she was going to be doing. They were connected in the mind. God had connected them in the heart. God had connected them in the soul, because she was sweet enough to feed the man, water the man's horse and the man. He knew her heart. He knew what she was going to be doing, because God gave him insight into her mind, into her soul. He gave him insight into her because they were already one. So when he took her into that tent and went into her, she then became his wife. They were already married, heart, mind, and soul. He knew what she was going to do and who she was before he actually met her. That is true. And see, the only type of connection, the only way that God can connect someone, two beings on that level, is if both of them are open and honest in God's sight. They are purely naked spiritually. They have nothing to hide from God, nothing that they've done, nothing that they've been through. They've taken the time to purify themselves in the holiness of the Lord. If you got people who are married and they still don't know their full spouse, they still don't know the fullness of their spouse, like, because one of them or both of them are refusing to get undressed in the eyes of the Lord. So you may have them being married on paper and in a public stance, but they not actually one. They not actually spiritually minded or spiritually connected in the heart or spiritually connected in the mind. So you have some people who confuse what marriage is about. Some people take sex, okay, our soul ties our marriage. Even with that, because I've had sex with people who we wasn't on one accord as far as heart, mind, and soul. I've had, thank God for cleaning me up, but that doesn't equal that. That comes when the understanding of marriage comes when you got the mind on one, you got the heart on one, you got the soul as one. God can talk to you and talk to them just as talk to you and talk to them at the same time, talk to them and talk to you at the same time. And he does it. I have witnessed this. I have witnessed this in my life, and he is good. Like a couple of times, like I said, I've had soulmates. I've loved and I lost. I loved and I lost. I loved and I lost. And each time, I can always look at it as a blessing, no matter how bad it look, no matter how bad they act, no matter how bad it get, because of the transaction that we're able to share. Because of the information that we taught each other, because of what it is that I learned out of that season. Because it only prepared me. I look at it as it's preparation for wherever God trying to take me. Period. So, yeah. Yeah, what it is.